Hey there, today I want to give you 5 reasons why Club Pilates may be the answer you're looking for in your fitness routine and 5 things to know before you go. Before we get going, I want you to know that this is just me providing my experience to you. This is not paid content. This is not sponsored. I'm getting nothing in return. This is not affiliate, none of that business. My mission at Graced Health is to equip you to find grace and balance in your own health by providing resources in the kitchen, in the gym, and in the Word. Today's focus is in the gym. Let's jump into why Club Pilates may be right for you. The first reason is everything there is low impact. As we get older, and even before we get older, we want to protect our joints and we want to strengthen them, but sometimes it's really hard on our joints. Everything at Club Pilates is low impact, and in fact, in the reformer classes, oftentimes you're doing everything lying on your back. Or is it laying? I'm not really ever sure. But you're on your back while you're doing that. And so that's a really great opportunity to move your muscles without being too hard on them. The second reason is Club Pilates offers very unique equipment. I've been in the fitness industry 14 years. I recognize that equipment costs money. As a personal trainer, I think about every single dollar that I invest to help my clients. So I recognize this. When I walk into Club Pilates, I look around and I think they have really invested in their clients. The reformer offers you a unique way to move with the equipment. There's also chairs that don't look like a chair to me, but that's what they call it, so I'm going to call it that. There's BOSU balls, there's TRX straps, there's these little circular things that you can put between your legs, and they're like little torture devices for your adductors. And so the equipment there is oftentimes, and particularly with the chairs and the reformers, it's hard to replicate that at home. That's one of the things that I really like about Club Pilates is I go there and I'm actually using machines that I can't do on my own. I can't take those same movements and come home and do them because it's very unique to the machines. And so that is a benefit to it. Which leads me to the third one. You will exercise muscles you did not even know you had. I have to admit, I walked in my first time or two and I thought, well, I do burpees and I can do V-ups and I do planks and I do all of these things. I'm going to be fine. And it wasn't long between my legs were up. I can't get them up this high, but just pretend they were up in that V position and just tremoring, shaking, because I was utilizing through their instruction muscles that I hadn't used altogether. Even though I do try and do that, it's really hard for me to be able to do that on my own with the equipment that I have. We have 35 muscles in our core musculature, and your core is really from your hips up to your shoulders and everything around. Sometimes we think core is just our rectus abdominis. It's not. There's so much more to that. Using the equipment and taking advantage of that equipment allows us to engage a lot of those muscles in different ways all at the same time. So it's definitely a unique experience. Number 4, if you are over 40, like me, this may be a great resource for you. Again, our hips start to deteriorate, our knees start to complain, our shoulders. I teach fitness classes. I can ask every single one of my girls to point to their issue and they're all pointing. We've all got something. Club Pilates, because it's low impact, because it's on unique equipment, gives you that option of movement without being so hard on your joints. So if you are new to fitness, maybe you're deconditioned and maybe your body's just not ready for burpees or running or mountain climbers or kettlebell swings, this is a great place to start because it is safe on your joints. And in fact, when I was taking pictures and videos to share with you on this, I started talking to the manager of my local Club Pilates, and we started talking. I said, whoa, I got to get this on recorder. So I'm going to actually play that here in just a second, because I want you to hear the conversation and just her professional experience and what she does. And she recognizes too that the over 40 has a need that is met at Club Pilates. Doesn't mean you can't come if you're not 40. I see, I have a son who's a freshman in high school. I see some girls his age there. Yes, by the way, there are men there, so men, you're welcome to come. And I see people, you know, up into their 70s. But if you are looking for a place because of your age to find a new fitness routine, this might be a really great place to do it. And then finally, number 5, if you've had an injury, this is a great place. Or if you want to prehab, if you want to prevent injury, this is a great place to do that. Because we're focusing on that core musculature, because we're focusing on our hips, our smaller glute muscles, our abdomen, our lats, our obliques, strengthening those are going to help prevent injury. And if you are injured, that's going to help in your recovery process. So take a look at this quick interview I had with Nicolette, our manager at my local Club Pilates. And then I'm going to come back and tell you 5 things you need to know before you go. Okay, so tell me what you think the average age is, either at this club or in general with Club Pilates.
Yeah, so I'd say like between the 2 locations that we have in this area, and I would say all over, I mean, age varies, but really the majority would be 45 to 50.
And why do you think that is?
So I'd say that, you know, as we get older, we can't put as much impact on our bodies just because of things that we're going through, like menopause, things like that. Bones become less dense. So this helps increase bone density, you know, and it just doesn't feel as good to put so much stress on our body. So it's low impact and it's super effective. You know, as we get older, we are in more years of creating bad habits of rounding shoulders, things like that. So all of those years of improper form and bad habits catch up, and this just really lengthens us and helps kind of undo all of those things that we've created over the time of, you know, not having good form in weight training and things like that. And,
well, I love what you say about the bad habits, because for years I did push-ups like this.
Yeah.
And so I now have that crossbody, and I've been really working on opening up and stretching it up and doing all the things, but that's not easily reversible in 3 months. Like, you have to really work at it. So
it took you years to do.
Yeah. One of the things that I love about Club Pilates is the mind-body connection and the awareness of what you're doing. And it's not just about banging something out like sometimes we see in the gym. It's banging out the burpees, and I love burpees, but but it's being aware of all of those things. What do you think is the favorite class here at this location, and maybe even at your other one?
So our most popular class, I'd have to say, is our cardio sculpt class, because again, it's a very low impact way of doing cardio, plyometric movements, things to really elevate that heart rate in a HIIT style training without putting the impact on the joints. I love it. I absolutely, it's my favorite class too.
It is fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Yeah.
You get sweaty.
Yes.
I made the mistake once of showering before I came, and then I had to go home and shower again.
Yeah.
Because the other one's like you're not sweaty, but you can't walk down the stairs. It's like that internal really fatigue, but you don't do a whole lot of sweat. But that one, it definitely gets you.
Yeah.
If someone were new to Club Pilates, what would you recommend that they do?
So I'd recommend that they try our intro class just to feel it out and make sure that it would be a good fit for them. But I would recommend a level 1 just because it is so different. So I would recommend that, but it really would vary depending on their goals, what they're currently doing, their background, any medical history or injuries, things like that. But typically reformer flow level 1, just to gain that mind-body awareness. A lot of us lack, you know, we think we have it, but then we come in here and we're like, wow, I definitely don't have that mind-body connection that I thought I had. So yeah, I definitely would. And really build that core strength and the foundational movements.
Absolutely. Okay. Are you convinced yet? I hope so. Before you go, I want you to know these 5 things. 1, you will need grippy socks. If you don't have any, that's okay. If you have kids who have gone to a trampoline park or anything like that, just dig in their drawer, grab theirs. I will tell you there's a lot of really cute socks out there. There are all sorts. I started off with the kind that look like gloves, but the toes were kind of cut off. That's great if painted toenails are important to you. and you keep them up. They are not important to me, and I do not keep them up. I'm the kind of person who paints like just the toes that are going to be seen in the open-toed shoes, and then I go with that. So I quickly moved to having a fully covered toe. It doesn't really matter, but if that's important to you, just be aware of that. The second thing you need to know, your instructor is going to guide you in taking certain springs on and certain springs off. There's red springs, blue springs, and green springs. Depending on what you're doing, they're going to have you put different springs on. More springs does not necessarily mean harder. So trust your instructor. She's had 500 hours of training before becoming an instructor. Trust that she knows what she's doing and she's going to guide you the best. I made the mistake the first time of thinking, well, this isn't hard enough. I'm going to put that on, and it actually made it too easy because of the muscles that we were focusing on. So trust your instructor. Just go with what they guide you to do. Third thing you need to know, many of the classes, particularly the Reformer Flow and the Cardio Sculpt, use weights. Go in there, grab weights that make sense for you. I typically grab 5s and 8s. This is not pure strength training, whatever it is. Depending on how I'm feeling, what my workout the previous day was, what mine's going to be the next day, I'll just grab between 5 and 8. The fourth thing, as with any class you take, if you have an injury, if you have an issue, please tell them. I love to remind people of this because it, number one, lets them know how to guide you, and number two, it almost gives you permission to take things down. And you can think, okay, well, she knows I have an elbow issue like I have, so she's not going to expect me to do this fully. And so telling her this and verbalizing it allows you to make the workout best for you. And then the fifth thing you need to know is remember to wipe down your equipment after class. Sometimes they put little wipies on our reformers or on our balls right before class ends. Sometimes you get them yourself. Either way, just make sure you grab a couple, wipe everything down because you don't want to be that person. You don't want to be that person. Hey, I hope this has convinced you to give Club Pilates a shot if you have one near you. Have you tried it? What's your experience? Do you love it? Let me know in the comments below. And please, if you will you like this video and subscribe to the channel? Make sure you click that little bell button, and that will ensure you receive all of the videos I create to equip you to find grace and balance in your health with resources in the gym, like today, in the kitchen, and in the Word. That's all for the day. Have a grace day.